Hello, everyone. Welcome to our new episode. And I'm your host, Sidra. I have David. He's, host plus guest. And today we have an honorable guest. Her name is Hedder Pierre-Joseph. And today we will talk on different issues with Joseph. Welcome in our show, Heather.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. Yes, David.
Here we go. All right. Thank you, Cedra, and
You're
thank
welcome.
you, Heather, for joining us today. This interview it's been a long time coming. So, Heather,
Yeah.
I want to thank you for being here with us, and everyone. Hedder Pierre-Joseph, please share a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Hedder Pierre-Joseph, and in the political arena, I'm the chairwoman, the president of the Democratic Haitian Caucus for the state of Florida. I'm a mother, an educator, and just a community activist.
Indeed, indeed. And one of the fascinating things about you that occurred this summer was that you were a DNC delegate representing Florida in my hometown of Chicago,
Oh,
Illinois.
wow.
Yes, yes. Uh, How was that experience?
Oh my God, absolutely amazing to have that opportunity to sit in that room. Life changing, right? Just to not know about what a delegate was and to find myself in that space, it was amazing.
I'm sure. And you and I have had the opportunity to talk before your visit to Chicago for the DNC convention and then afterwards. And being there in Chicago with other delegates, with electeds, with, other candidates, what was it about this particular convention that couldn't be relayed over the airwaves? What was that excitement like?
This was my first time as a delegate. So for me, I didn't know what to expect, but I was eager to learn and coming back to my community. So it's very important. But the excitement, it was just family. You didn't expect to see such a diverse group of people. It was extremely diverse. I meant going through Secret Service. So you would be in line with governors and mayors because everyone had to follow the same protocol. But just the unity and the excitement around VP Harris, and those who attended before shared with me, this is the most diverse convention that they had ever been to in 20 years. And after that, partied. I met that night. It was like the all-star of the political arena, and the excitement, whatever came across in the airways, we could feel the excitement. I was like, it was that plus more.
Oh, that's awesome. And Heather, you shared a very intimate story with our friend Stephanie Quinn Yu from Live Fox. I'm sorry, Live Now on from Fox. And when I saw your interview, it really moved me, and it reminded me of why people do what they do, why they want to be with other people who have, great aspirations and hopes for their families and their communities. Being a member of the Haitian community here in Florida, how important was it to be in Chicago representing your community? Oh,
Can you hear
it-
us?
Yes, I can. For me, coming from such humble beginnings, right? I never say I come from a poor background. I never use that word because my culture is very rich, and my
Yes.
upbringing, I just feel completely blessed. But beginnings, you know how you never picture something, you never fathom, you see it. I'm just humble and grateful. And I know people get tired of me saying that, but I just feel like I have this burden or this weight. I was one of those boat kids in the 70s or 80s. So for me, for the Haitian community, boatload of Haitians landed on the coast of Pompano Beach, Florida, documented in 1973, December of 1973. I could not imagine. Unfortunately, my mother passed away. I could not imagine what those Haitian people dreamed of coming on those as
yeah,
refugees. I didn't know what they anticipated in America. I know they came for freedom and opportunity, as most immigrants come. And you grow up learning, okay, all you need to do is go to school, be a good, kind person, a genuine person, be self sufficient, speak English very well, right? But
Yeah.
this wasn't even in it. Just to find myself in rooms with, oh my gosh, I could say the legacy, right, that I leave. I can say I had the opportunity to cast my ballot for the first Indian American Black woman vice president running as a Democratic nominee. I had to sit in a room with others, and we had only about approximately 5,000 delegates to hear former President Bill Clinton, um, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Michelle Obama. Stevie Wonder was sitting behind me one time. I was like, "That's Stevie," and just to find, it was never a dream. You never dream it. So I still can't put into words, but I am humble. I am grateful. And for the Haitian community, for me, this is big because my community wasn't even aware of the delegate process, or
yeah,
yeah, as a whole, or even being involved in the democratic process. So I am honored to kind of set the pathway. So for the next year to come, out of the total number of delegates, there are delegates from Florida of Haitian descent. Next year, there is going to be more. In the years after, there are going to be more. There are going to be more. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity as a Black woman, or just from where I come from. I'm just grateful.
I want to ask a question
sure.
here. So, it's a very simple question. So, question is like prior to this interview, we were discussing about the what is basically the default effect theory. So, we were discussing that people usually follow the the simple thing, the easy task. They don't wanna give the tough time and take a risk. So, in your political experience, do you prefer like tough time, a risk, or the easy tasks?
My life has never been easy. So for me, if it was about me, I would be, oh my gosh, somewhere else, right? Just quiet living. It's not about me. Because
Mm,
of my tough past, because life has not been, life has
easy.
been life, right? It's been
Yeah.
life, right? It's the other four-letter word. So for me, it's not about me. God has been
Mhm.
gracious to me. I spent 16 years undocumented. I've had an opportunity, and I think my life is coming full circle with all the negative things that I've experienced is due to bad public policy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
um, Having a child with disabilities, fighting for that, having her. So for me, it's not about Hedder Pierre-Joseph. It's about also stepping into these spaces. And I don't do talking points, but stepping into these spaces for the other people behind me suffering. So it's not about me. So it's not, I don't look at it easy and hard. I just look at it that I have a responsibility to do my part, just like
Yeah.
those had a responsibility to those who are called,
Yeah.
to
Mm,
do what they're supposed to do to make it better for others. So for me, I don't see the toughness. I really don't. I don't think about it. My motivation is I've got to do something before I transition for those who are suffering.
Thank you so much for your answer.
And Heather, you have a tough task ahead of you. You are the chairwoman of the Orange County Haitian Democratic Haitian Caucus. That's correct, or the
State Florida
statewide.
also correct. The statewide.
Okay, and so I know for the local Democrats, it's very difficult for them to have some type of consistency, especially in the leadership in their caucuses and the membership, and just move any type of policy agenda through these caucuses. What challenges do you perceive being the chair of this particular caucus?
Since our caucus was formed in January 2024, going out there, education. So it's not a challenge for us. We just need to educate. So we're not even playing yet,
Okay.
right? We have these grandiose ideas of where the Haitian community in Florida is going to be able to have Haitian people elected statewide. This is just not a South Florida thing, right? Where you just have a couple of Haitians, you have a in the rest of the state. This is about collective power. So we're not even there with collective power. So right now, I think it's easy because we have a 3-year plan. Our plan right now is educate,
Okay.
educate, educate. Unfortunately, we're in the middle of an election, but um,
Yeah.
I thank God for my AP background. Organizing is what I'm able to do. So I don't see it as a challenge. Um, Breaking barriers and breaking doors is never a challenge, but I am positive and I am confident, even if I don't see it. I know that the Haitian community in Florida is going to be a pivotal part in elections going forward. Our job
Okay.
after November is going to just be educate, educate.
What is there any specific policy that you would champion through the caucus?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot. The Haitian Americans have been voting, and we vote under that Black African American. But my heart is with
Right.
Haiti because I was born in exile. So our goals are going to be to make use our vote to benefit the interests of Haitians in America and also Haitians abroad, and that is Haiti. We don't have anything still yet, but that is a goal. Every other ethnicity votes based on the treatment in America's treatment has been awful towards Haiti. The Haitians in this country, ever since the boatload started, have always been mistreated. But the only thing back then, they were integrating. They didn't have a political. But right now, we're about 50 years in, and we have Haitian people who have assimilated, who carry the last name William Smith, Jones, Andrews,
Right.
and they have assimilated. And so our job as a caucus right now is to educate Haitian people to understanding that it's no longer, I feel sorry for officials because it's no longer going to be easy to get the Haitian vote by, and you know how they do, right? David, you know me, I'm very honest that you're no
Yes,
longer going to be able to pay somebody to come into our community and tell our people how to vote. So part of
that's
our
right.
education process right now is telling Haitians, you need to have demand, you need to have campaign promises from your local races all the way up to your national races. And so I really truly feel sorry for the elected officials because they're gonna have to find another way to they this is the urban in me. Y'all ain't gonna be able to play the Haitian community like you have been playing us because we're going to campaign or demand campaign promises.
And that's good. That's excellent. And you brought up a very good point, Heather, when you stated, and correct me if I'm wrong, that Haitians don't have a separate ethnicity designation, that they're considered African American. And when I was looking at our data, our voter data file, and I was going to, prepare for the show and find out, okay, how many voters identify, as having Haitian roots. And I couldn't find it in the voter file. And then I say, okay, let's look at, Creole. How many are Creole speaking? Couldn't find that either. I was like, wait a second, something's not right here. we've got a demographic of individuals who should be identified, by their country of origin at least, or they're identified, by their background if they wanted to be, but the voter file that comes from the state that comes through our license with our data provider, there's no designation. And when you mentioned that, I was like, wait a second, something's just not right. And I think it kind of leads to elected officials taking for granted the Haitian American vote in our community.
Correct, absolutely. And remember 2010, so I also had the opportunity of working with the census, because remember when the earthquake hit Haiti in 2010, Haitians don't know that, but the conversations behind the scenes were, they're not here, they don't exist, they don't vote. And so
Right.
there were a group of us tasked with, and I was in Central Florida at the time. There were, because remember, we didn't have speaking services, we had none of that, right? And we
Right.
were tasked with making sure that the Haitian Americans were counted. And so what we did on the census is wrote other, and then we started writing Haitian. And so then we started to be counted. They're like, okay, they're there. So we're at a point where, yeah, we know they're there, but so you understand? And so for me, telling the Haitian communities that we have to do for ourselves, and we're not waiting on anyone. And I'm fortunate to
Right.
lead that charge. And also another thing that is quite interesting to me, I'm American, educated in America, right? So America is great with education. And being a thinker, Haiti is on an island that we call Hispaniola. Haiti was
Right.
the first free. So we're part of Hispaniola. So we're part of Latin America. The
Correct.
definition, I didn't make the definition. So those two, please don't be upset with Webster created the definition. So the definition for being Latin or Latino is that you have to be from a region that we have identified as Latin America. And then you have to speak a language that's derived from Latin, Spanish, Portuguese, that good old French. So those Haitians that are over there, they're part of Latin America, and we're excluded from economic things. We're just, I don't even know what they have done to us. And so we've been excluded from
Right.
the Latin American, not Hispanic conversation to be a nation of Blacks. And so that's another thing as that I know I've been led to charge. It's like, listen, you guys aren't classifying us correctly. So there is a discrimination against the Afro Latinos, and Haitians are Afro Latinos. And you can also say we're part of the Caribbean if they all are, but Haitians have been exploitation. And so the caucus has a lot of awareness and education, and it's not combative, but it's conversations that we need to have, even in spaces like this. No, if Haitians aren't part of Latin America, neither is the DR, because we're on the same island. It's
Right.
called Hispaniola.
Right.
So, yes.
And I
Yeah.
saw in our I saw in our data that there is country of origin, Dominican Republic. I was like, okay, I know Haiti's in our filter here somewhere. I was like, what the hell? What's going on here? And do you think that the Haitian community here in Central Florida is underserved because of some of these systemic issues that we just discussed?
Oh, we understand. Absolutely. Haitian community throughout this country, this nation, they take us for granted. And I can honestly say they take the Haitian vote for granted.
Hmm.
And no fault of theirs, because the Haitian people, and we go back to the Mario boat lift in the late 70s, the early
Yeah,
80s. The Cubans came over immediately, they were given residency, right? Haitians
correct.
come over, we're always in this loop. Not only Haitians, other immigrants too, as well. But at the time when the boatloads were coming to South Florida, and you see the impact politically, Cubans had a direct path to citizenship. And what I
Yeah,
always say, pathway to citizenship. A Haitian person may get a temporary status, but it's not a green card. Citizenship does not start until you have a green card, which
Correct.
is legally called permanent residency. So between 3 to 5 years, then you become a U.S. citizen. And so you have a group of Haitians who happen to be Black, have them in this limbo where they have to apply every year, and they're not in a permanent status. So it ends up taking the average Haitian 12 or 16 years just to become a U.S. citizen. So we're in this limbo where we're things. So that, yeah, of course you see it. So what is the impact of being undocumented? These Haitian people are paying. They have work permits, they have work visas, but they're not green card holders. So they're paying into Social Security, and they're
Right.
not able to get that. There are people that
That's
20
right.
years, and so it's a mess. The Haitian community is absolutely underrepresented in Central Florida, in the entire, I would in of itself, as far as services, because we're not identified and we can't negotiate for our voting power.
Right. Heather, how many Haitians do you estimate reside here in Florida?
In Florida numbers, there's some estimates that say 1.3 million. Some say 1 million. I'm in South Florida alone. There are about 300,000 in South Florida alone. And this is where you can see where the gap of the Haitians are. A lot of them are first generation. So you're going to find a FAMU,
Yeah.
University of Miami is the Princeton for the Haitian community. You're going to find them at Bethune-Cookman, but they're not going to be the Haitians that you saw in the boat. Just like myself, I mean, if I married a Williams now, right, I would be Hedder Williams. No, but I would still be Hedder Pierre-Williams, right? But assimilated. Jacksonville, for example, the Haitians that came over through Texas, they're
Okay.
going to Jacksonville. So you have all these university hubs, and these kids are Haitian, but they're everywhere and underrepresented. So the caucus, we're going to be after election time, we're going to get ready to make sure that we self-identify ourselves, and so we're counted.
Excellent. Heather, what can the Orange County Democrats, the Florida Democratic Party, do to help your caucus, your Haitian community, and the community in general move closer to the goals that you're setting forth for your community?
Um, well, the Democratic Party, I believe, has its own goals. Um, I don't think their goals are necessarily set for the Haitian community. That's what the caucuses do, right? You have the Hispanic caucus, you have the Black caucus. The Democratic Party has existed since 1848, whenever the African American, the Black caucus. The Black caucus was formed 41, they celebrate 41 years ago. Voters become educated and to become empowered. They form the caucuses, and it is the caucuses responsibility to meet the needs of the voters. And once the Haitian community is organized and we can vote, it's two things that give you power in America: money and votes
That's
in
right.
politics. So we don't have the money, correct? And when I'm talking about millions and hundreds
Yeah.
of millions of dollars being
Yeah.
poured into elections. If we don't have that, and I'm being quite honest, we don't have the opportunity to play. But I know one thing: we have Haitians who are registered Democrats. And
That's right.
once we get, so the bargaining begins once we can afford to play. Right now, we're just in the room, right? Trying to gather our trips or gather our money, or if you're playing
I
Monopoly, gather
understand.
our dollars so we can play. But the expectation, and I tell Haitians all the time, you can't, any minority, or I use the word minority, but any group that is not the majority, you cannot expect the majority to help you.
That's
America
right.
teaches us this one thing: power does not concede. They're not going to help us.
That's
Um,
correct. I agree with you, Heather. And are there other organizations that are not political, maybe are political, in the Haitian community that also have the same mindset that you hope to work with or are working with right now?
no, a lot of the organizations, if they're 501c3s, they have limited. They're helping on social. They're helping on social levels. And for me, I don't see it with my American background, right? Even if I want to do voter engagement throughout the state in the 67 counties, there's not a Haitian organization that is statewide.
Yeah.
Caucus is the first organization that is statewide. I mean, you have equal ground doing stuff. I have not been able thus far to find an organization that is with the mission Haitian led, separate to do that. But there are great organizations throughout the state doing wonderful things as far as in I don't want to call names, but they're doing great things. But I believe it's within certain regions. And so in those regions as a state, so for in South Florida, there are organizations that we can partner with to get these things done. And you have to be a little gracious to the Haitian community because it's only been 58. And so imagine what the first 10 years were, the first 20 years,
Yeah.
just survival mode, just getting to America, getting cousin. So now I think my generation and the generation to follow, is disconnected, right? Those kids will say, I'm American and not Haitian. I think going forward with the caucus, with this, not this initiative, but going in there, this is going to open the eyes of those to come and to make sure that we have organizations, but there aren't any Haitian organizations that I found that are in the power in the political to support us at this moment.
Okay. All right. I've got one more question. I mean, this is a very good interview. I really appreciate it. Let's Cedra, you have another question?
No, I think I'm good. I just want to say thank you so much for coming in our You Can't Make the Shit Up show. And that's all from my side.
Okay. My final
And I love
question.
that name too.
Sure.
I don't want to say it, but I love that.
Yeah, Heather, when we came up with the name of this show several years ago,
Yeah.
uh, my business partner at the time, uh, we were both in politics, and not a day or two would pass, and we would say to ourselves, "You can't make this shit up." I mean, it
Yeah,
just
some people are scary about this. You can't make the shit up. But don't be scary, please. It's
it,
just a name.
it's politics, and some of the stuff that we see and hear is just like it makes you wonder. However, Heather, it's a close race for president, and here in Florida, we're seeing super majorities by the Republican Party. They're outspending a lot of our candidates. What's your prediction locally and nationally? If you're willing to give any insight on based on your experience in politics and your recent experience at the DNC. None.
Yeah, with elections, you never know, right? You never know what's going to happen. But I am hopeful. I just we at this state, America needs Kamala Harris to win. I
Mhm.
can't imagine what America will look like if Kamala Harris does not win. I am inspired about the number of early voters in Georgia. Um,
Yeah. Wow. Did you
the
see that?
other side, yeah. So I'm like, yes. And we are going to work. We may not, Florida is not a battleground state, right? So I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Florida. They're not going to put the money into us because of for the electoral college on it. So we're not going to see that. But when I think about some of the poverty on the other side, who in their right mind would want to get rid of Social Security? Who in their right mind, as immigrants, we come to this country. I come, although my parents are from Haiti, there's not a free educational system in Haiti. I was born in the
Mm.
Bahamas. There's not free education. Immigrants come here regardless of why, but education, every immigrant, every person that finds themselves in a lower social economic group talks about education. Who in their right mind would want to dismantle the US Department of Education? Could you imagine what the educational system is going to look back? Those two issues alone, I am frightful. And I think the other side is so outrageous,
Okay.
it's going to be like COVID. You remember when COVID hit?
Yes, I
We
do.
all got out because we all had our masks. We all were standing, although we were in quarantine. The former president wanted to cancel the election, extend the election. People came
Yes.
out. I think Americans are realizing that, listen, the number of Republicans that are supporting the Democratic nominee, Vice President Harris, is unheard of. So I look forward to our waking on November 6th, or wait, November 5th, if we through the night, and VP Harris is going to be the next first female president of the United States of America. I am a little concerned with Orange County and the issues that we have going on here with our SOE, but I of whatever barriers they put, too much is at stake. Those of us who believe in justice, those of us that believe in hope, are going to come out and are going to vote, and our numbers will be greater than those who have other plans.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much, Heather. Heather, where can our viewers and our listeners find you on the internet?
Okay. On the internet, I'm going to send you to the Democratic Haitian Caucus website. It's the THEDACOF.org. And you can find, if you want to also find me on social media, it's under Hedder Pierre. So just type in Hedder Pierre and you'll be able to find me.
Yeah, I can see your Instagram account. I found it.
She's on it.
Hedder Pierre, HEDDER Pierre, PIERRE.
Okay. I will tag you.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Heather, I want to thank you. Again, this was a long time in coming, and I'm glad that we had this opportunity to have this interview. I hope that we can have you again, and probably maybe a review of the election after November 5th. Just your insight from your perspective. We can have an interview then.
Most definitely. And thank you so much for having me, David.
You are most welcome. And on behalf of Cedra and Heather, I want to thank our community for tuning in, watching, listening, all that good stuff. Please like, share, hit the notification button, subscribe, and what I like the most is the comments. Please comment, let us know what you think, and bring your facts. We want to know, what matters to you. And if you are from the Haitian community, please definitely, we'll love to hear your feedback, and let us know, particularly here in Central Florida, what matters to you, what your kitchen table issues are, and how the Democratic Party or even the Republican Party are supposed to address your issues. So again, on behalf of Hedder and Cedra, I'm David Washington. This is You Can't Make This Shit Up. We'll see you the next time. All right, ladies, I'll take us out.